we welcome you inside of Marion Decker Gymnasium. Mark Shelley alongside Drew Patrick. And Drew, today we get to see one of the most prolific offenses in all the country, the third best offense nationally at Division II, coming in, averaging over 92 points a game for East Stroudsburg. But the Mountaineer defense is what's going to have to step up today. Here inside Marion Decker Gymnasium, it is the whiteout. They are loud, they are proud, and ready to welcome their Mountaineers back to the court for the second half here on Mountie All Access, part of the PSAC network. In the opener of that, against East Stroudsburg, Moff had some space. It was quickly closed by Hinton, then pulls up for three. Tyler Moff, how about that? Knocks it home, and he's got 6 points on the day, both of them from big-time threes. Feeds one hotly contested inside and stolen away by Cedric Powell. Speeding down, has some pressure on his back, floats this one up over top. Malik Carter's there for the putback, another 2 points for the Mountaineers, and Malik Carter makes it 6 for the team in the white home jerseys. And holds on to it, back over to Morris. Bounce pass down. Rose spinning. This one denied by the rim. Grabbed by Carter behind the back. Nice move to make some room. Speeding. Goes up and slams it home. Malik Carter. No, he didn't. Cedric Powell will dish off to Carter and then back atop the key with Wortham. And then near side wing with Cedric Powell. Inside to Matt Tamanowski, the Mountaineers' 1,000-point scorer. Banks this one in and puts the Mountaineers on the board first with an easy bank shot for two, spinning around inside the paint.
Yeah, think about that, too, and didn't play 2 games.
3 games that he's played, he's picked up a double-double. Ransom takes the feed from Wortham, and the big men are working together there, and they tack on 2 more, a 5-point lead for the Mountaineers. 10 on the shot clock. Cedric Powell, pressure on, trying to find some room. Goes out to Moff. Moff for 3. Moff on the front side of the rim, will not go. Staunch comes down with it. Tip ball, Cedric Powell down low. This one in and one! Cedric Powell, he's mauled by Malik Carter. Cedric Powell, he may be the smallest guy on the court, but he makes the biggest play of the game!
Oh, my.
Back inside Decker Gymnasium, Mark Shelley and Drew Patrick getting you set for second half action. A 1-point differential facing the Mountaineers of Mansfield University on their home court in front of a whiteout crowd. Here underneath us, they are rowdy, they are ready to go. And so are both teams as they will come out for the decisive 20 minutes of play, 27-26. Crimson Hawks of IUP on crossover weekend sit atop the scoreboard. They will start with Aaron Hutton as he will bring it into play to start the second half. So they will point up at the scoreboard, which...
But just this back scoreboard here by us, that's...
making some confusion. Everything else is okay, so we get underway. Malik Miller will leave for Glover atop the key and right back over to Miller, looking with Malik Carter. So Malik on Malik action here. Carter turns him away, and Glover gets it, now tries to drive the lane on Powell. Floats this one in and banks it in off the backboard. And quickly, 2 points on the board for the Crimson Hawks.
That's an important 2 points to start this half for the Crimson Hawks.
Cedric Powell brings it out and will stop and then bounce pass for Tamanowski. He needs 3 to hit 1,000 in his career as a Mountaineer. Malik Carter backtracks and plays over to Wortham. Wortham for 3. Wortham knocks it home and finds an answer quickly, just like that. And the big man can shoot the ball around.
That's something people forget about his style of play. He can shoot from anywhere on the court, as well as be a solid defender. He's one of the most valuable players for this team.
Miller sets atop the key and plays out to the wing with Glover. Whistle blows, and they're going to get an off-ball foul here.
Yeah, Tamanowski was working with William Brandwick down low.
So here's Diaz, and he will try to drive to the paint, has to scoop this one, and finally ends up putting that one into the basket on the layup down low. And Cedric Powell will bring it out for the Mountaineers as 2 more are on the board for the Crimson Hawks. 31-29, a 2-point differential. Wortham, jumper for 2. This one floats off the backside of the rim. Carter gets a touch on it, and Hutton keeps it from going out of play. And here comes Glover near sideline, and will try to drive to the paint and then leave for Hutton, who comes charging forward. They will dish off to Miller and back over to Glover, and he will work just shy of half court, center of the offensive zone. A lot of movement on the far side of the court. Now to the wing with Diaz, and he will just leave it for his teammate in Miller. Miller driving inside, kick back out to Diaz. Diaz goes baseline and then has this one float away from him with some contact, and Powell got a fingertip on this, but he cannot keep it any further, so it's out of play.
That might not be an awful thing as there's only 1 second on the shot clock, but yeah, that definitely went off Powell's fingertip.
So a quick inbound coming here. Moving around is Hutton all the way back at half court. And a timeout is called. And over on the far sideline, Joe Lombardi is irate at his team. And with 18-12, it's 31-29. And Drew, it's a tough one for him. They had a tough situation with 1 second.
That inbound, there was just no movement. That's why he's so upset. There was no movement from his team. You have to get any sort of movement from your other guys on. There was one guy shooting out, and the rest were standing there. That's why Coach Lombardi is so irate.
Lombardi in his 12th season, a graduate of Youngstown State in 1981. Will break his team from the timeout that he has called. Pat Sitfell in his third season as the head man of the Mountaineers is 21-35, but has put together a great start to the season for the Mountaineers as they're 4-3 overall, and 3 of those wins coming in conference play. Both teams sitting at 3-1. Mountaineers 4-3, but IUP, they're 6-4. And Drew, as you mentioned, a very high-ranked team to start the season. The expectations were there, but so far the execution has not been. And both teams will break from the timeout. And with 1 tick on the shot clock, 18-12 on the clock that matters in the overall scheme of things, we will still have a delay at the scorers table. They will bring it over. And the Mountaineers hoping to turn away the Crimson Hawks with that 1 tick on the shot clock.
Mansfield brought in Ransom, too, to prevent any pass down low.
A lot of movement now. This one just floated up and out of play across the baseline, so the Mountaineers will take over, and that's about as good as you can get.
Yeah, and they'll take over not where that ball went out of bounds, but where it was thrown, didn't touch anyone, goes out of play. So they're here on the side instead of underneath IUP's basket.
So Moff will come to the left of the statistics table, which is on the near side. Far side is the scoring table. And Powell will move forward, cross midcourt and settle atop the key, and then quickly dishes near side wing to Malik Carter. Down low with Wortham on a low skittering bounce pass. Wortham has contact and loses that one as he goes crashing to the court, and here comes Hutton. Hutton speeding forward, plays outside to Diaz. Diaz over the head and plays to Glover. Glover for 3, near side wing off the back side of the rim, and an all-out foot race to get there first. And slamming this one back towards Carter was Miller. But they say it did not get there before Miller threw. So
they're also going to say he gave a little bit of a push, an extra push down there. That's his third.
So Miller in foul trouble. And they will check in Daniel Eck for Miller, so he will take a seat on that bench and be greeted by Joe Lombardi before taking a seat. As Cedric Powell will bring it out of the backcourt for the Mountaineers. 17:43 remaining, 31-29. Mountaineers trailing here at home on whiteout weekend. Carter pivoting on that foot, pressure on. A lot of it coming from Hutton. He's trying to weave his way. 2 men on, now backs away and looking for some help. Loses the ball but collects it. And no harm done on that one. Under 10 on the shot clock, feeds outside to Powell. Powell crossing over, spinning, trying to find some room. Step back jumper for 3. And Cedric Powell goes in and out of the rim and will not fall. And Brandwick comes down with it. And now moving forward is Glover and quickly bounce passes into the corner with Daniel Eck, who pulls up for 3.
They're going to call it 2.
He was on the line.
Inside, yeah.
He was just inside the line, so it will only count as 2. And it's 33-29, Crimson Hawks. Diaz sticks a hand in there, and this ball heads into the backcourt, but Moff plays it forward to Powell. Powell has trouble handling that and then drives to the lane, floats this one up, and Cedric Powell tacks on 2 more.
Good job for Cedric Powell, just seeing the chaos and floating in there, finding that lane to the basket and getting it in.
The signature headband as he tightens it on his head there. This one floated from Glover, and now with Diaz. And this is going to be a turnover here on the carry as Diaz gets called, and Lombardi doesn't like the call.
Diaz not a fan either.
Lombardi still talking with the officials as Powell brings it forward. as the Mountaineers take over. Near side wing with Carter. Pivoting on that foot and then shucks off a defender, tries to drive the lane, and a foul is called. And that's going to be on Hutton. And Carter will head to the line. So Malik Carter, his first trip to the line today. His team trailing by 2, 33-31 with 16-14 remaining here in the ballgame. Carter skids this one atop the rim, and it will not fall. So he'll have a second chance opportunity. He will hit one of two, and, well, it's not the most successful trip that he wanted, but he does come away with a point. So 1 of 2 from the line today for Carter. Glover plays out to Hutton. Now Diaz in the wing plays to Danielek, who has to jump and pushes into Carter. And Danielek is called for the foul, and Carter draws it, and the Mountaineers will take over.
Beautiful charge taken. And just stuck his feet, planted there, the drive into him.
So as we hit the break, 33-32, 15:59 remaining here. We are in an all-out dogfight here on Mountie All Access, part of the PSAC network.